Yes, hello, I am back. I am back on Space Engineers. I've been working on a few ships. Don't mind this one, I've just completely massacred. Um, we'll go ahead and delete that. So, I've been trying to kind of up my level of Space Engineer building as well as building bigger and better. This was my first design, kind of like a Y-wing, sort of like a Y-wing back design, and like a front kind of like X-wing design from Star Wars. So we have a cargo container right here. I'm pretty sure all of this is light. Yeah, all of this I'm pretty sure is light armor, including up here, which is not ideal. But considering the fact this isn't supposed to be like a heavy take all the action and spit it back, like, no, this is just a simple ship I'm trying to build. I mean, God forbid that people actually test stuff before they go big. But you can see our kind of gyroscope, kind of like miniature hangar bay-ish design. I'm still working on where to pipe that turret from. I don't know if I want to go straight in right here or if I kind of like want to do like a curve. This isn't fully finished. It is partially finished. Like, it's functional. You got cryopods. You got a survival kit. You got, you know, working ship with, again, like your only gyro in the back. The thing is slow. I did originally build this to be like a bomber sort of ship. So whenever you went too close to enemy, you would just like have like bombs back here that you would decouple and they would thrust backwards. So you would go like hang on. You would kind of like, let me see, scooch ass, and then you would just do this. So that way your ship right here, well, you wouldn't use it on this ship, use it or something like that. You would just like boom, boom, like send missiles out as you're doing this. And the really only thing they're gonna hit, they're not gonna be able to. They might be able to hit those bombs depending if you scatter them or not. But if they have really good coverage, this is just not gonna cover it. So then I made this design. Now this design is not supposed to be a bomber. I'm going to work on my bombers later. I don't think they would be kind of useful in Space Engineers, especially because Space Engineers 2 is coming out here recently. Well, it's been updated. But this design, as you can see, the actual main ship is not big. Okay, now obviously, yeah, if you see this, like, oh, this is huge, whatnot, but let me go ahead and take out the things that make it quote-unquote big. Oop, that's not supposed to be missing, anyway. Oh, it's no big deal, alright. So we need to completely sever the connection between this. There we go. So we can delete that end, and then we can delete that end, and this, if I can go around and clean up a few things. Making sure we got rid of everything. This is kind of like the actual ship design. You see, it's clearly trying to take inspiration from the Maleficent, or however you pronounce it, from Star Wars. Now, this is actually interesting because it has a quote-unquote cockpit right here, but it also has one back here. Both of these are fully functional. However, this one is not your actual cockpit. Because you see, this doesn't lead anywhere. It's built like that for design. So while they're attacking this, oh shit, I've attacked the wrong one, I'm wasting resources on what is essentially a small, like, semi-defenseless ship. You know, this is not worth my time kind of design. And also does have more than one entrance, which is nice. I believe, like, with everything added, including those fins, because it's not that those fins aren't important. You don't need them for, like, steering, because we have gyroscopes, you have thrusters. You just don't have any side thrust. But I believe I compensated for that, because in here, this thing, it rolls. Like, that's not metaphorically, it rolls. So for those side thrusters, it's not big of an issue. So if you're attacking from this angle, whoop, or say for example, like you're targeting like this, I could just do that and do that, and wouldn't you know it, you're now attacking this portion. So the idea is to essentially, hey, attack me here. Oh, I know where you're gonna attack from. So I can predict your next moves and get actual real combat ships to go after you now. Because this is not meant for combat, even though you could technically win with it if you played your cards right, but it's not meant to, it's not designed to win a fight. This is a freighter haul, or like a cargo transport. It's mainly like going from planet to planet type deal, so this is literally not even supposed to be in a fight. Alright? Even though it has light armor and heavy armor, mostly heavy armor, it is not supposed to be anywhere near a fight. Okay? And the design speaks for itself, because it has these wings that you would actually store your fighters, because this could only go on like a few planets. So the planets you can't go, you would just store the cargo pods, drop pods, or whatever you want to call them. You would store them on the ship, so that way, even though this ship cannot go to, say, the alien planet, you could put a ship in it that absolutely will be able to land on it. So this ship is supposed to purely be defensive, go out and explore, but again, I'm not that very good at designing. You kind of like have, if I turn my lights off right here, you have two of these windows you can see outside, and then obviously this just goes back up to the main. This just goes back right up here. Which, believe it or not, this window actually has a very obscure reasoning. I don't have all these configured. And it's to close all the doors! I have like a single light in here. Again, this is not finished. This is not fully ready. None of these ships, I believe, are fully ready, except for that one, that small one. That's like the only ready ship here. But as you can see, these other ships are not ready at all, in any capacity. Now, you can, of course, go up here to the highest level, and you have a, you have your, I don't know what you wouldn't call this your main bridge, you would call this a secondary bridge, where you still have control over it and whatnot. As you can see, this basically has no gyroscopic control. Again, it's not supposed to. You're not avoiding missiles, because you're not supposed to be getting into the missile fight. This thing is meant to, say, planet, moon, kind of start a base there. You can leave this about, people would probably relatively ignore it. It's plain. It is plain, it looks mediocre, it looks bad, it looks horrible. Okay? And believe it or not, that's not just me coping from design. Again, when you're going from planet to planet, you don't want attention. So what do? You make the ship have no weapons, a shit ton of thrusters, and then you just have no weapons on top of it, as well as it being relatively flat. You know what people are going to say? They're going to be like, oh, that's a waste of resources firing at that ship. But knowing all the sweats, they're just probably going to shoot at you anyway, because hey, they don't care if they waste resources. It's just another 5 hours they gotta go grind. This is going to be a longer form video, so yeah. This I'm actually working on to make it kind of quote-unquote combat ready, but right now I just cannot get the life of me to figure out what this would be used for. It's big, it's bulky, it's got a tiny ass hangar bay right here, which you would think would be the main one, but no. This right here, as well as there's also another one over here. These two are the main actual hangar bays. Because here's the thing, okay? It doesn't matter if you have a great ship. You can have a shitty ship. But if you know how to use a shitty ship, it doesn't matter how great your ship is. I know all your turrets, I know all your blind spot, I know how to pilot a shitty ship you don't know how to defend against. I win. Yeah, like I said, this is unfinished. And here is kind of... You would park your ship right up here, it would be facing down. As soon as these open up, I want to have like an ejection system where it would eject you out like that. Then watch this. They close back up. I'm not going to make that. And yes, even these close back up. But as you can see, this area is gigantic. Remember, this is just the back thruster section. And also, if you want to see how this lands, because this is not landing upright. This is not going to land like this. Like what you're seeing right here, this is not how it lands. Okay? It's going to land, and you're probably going to say, oh, that's useless. It's going to land like this. It's going to land ass first. And you may notice, well, these landing pads are going to do nothing, but you also may notice there's a block inside there. And this is for a very, very good reason. There's my control panel. These extend. These barely have like a block or two clearance from the ground, so you will have to have a special pad to put this on. But if you can afford this, you wouldn't have really any struggles with landing pads. Well, you shouldn't, considering you just wasted a shit ton of resources in Metal Grids. Which, by the way, the entire outside is heavy armor as well as some ships on the inside. This is not going to be a fast ship. If you have the presumption that you're going to be speeding through this, no, you're not. I want to design this as much as possible to essentially, this is going to be your brick. You don't want anything to get past this, or if they do get past this, they get past in a way where they're either scrambled up into 1,000 pieces for scavenging droids to go after, or for this to not get damaged, or damaged to a point where it's just not worth doing anything to it. Let me fix this. This isn't supposed to be open. Like I said, I've been working on this for like, I think a month now. Like I said, I'm taking my time with these with this ship in specifically. Let me... Now, believe it or not, that's not my biggest ship. Okay. Here's me compared to it. Oop. Yeah, you see that, you see that speck right there? Yeah, that? Yeah, that's the player. Or well, you, me, whatever. This is just what it looks like. Let me zoom out. Yeah, and you compare something like that to this. Where, actually, let me plot my player down there. It's not that big. Then you go into this ship, which then we start to see... Oh, alright, okay, it's a little bit bigger. Not by much. Okay, then you go to this huge-ass behemoth. Then you're like, oh. Now we're starting to get into a more enormous sizes. Then you go right here. If you took away my shadow, you probably wouldn't be able to guess that that's a player standing there. Which, by the way, yes, I am aware that there's 1,000 gyroscopes over here, as well as reactors. I was testing out the reactor power. And no, these solar panels are not to power everything. Solar out here, it's not that it's horrible, but compared to it's essentially solar is not for moving bases. I'll just put it that way. But this is the inside of it. It is hollow. I mean, it's even more hollow than your mom. But anyway, I want to kind of have like an elevator right here where you bring up here and then you can look out here. But again, these are just prototypes for now. Well, except for this one. This one's not a prototype. This is just, yeah. If you want to, I could, no, I'll just have the comment section decide. I know that's kind of cheesy for me to do, especially I have one subscriber. Yeah. But if you want to, suggest ideas, or maybe I'll put it on the Steam Workshop and you can go find it, or I can put a link down there and see how far you might be able to fix them. Because these are terrible, especially right here. This is supposed to be a MAC, by the way. Magnetic Accelerated Cannon, I'm pretty sure is the nickname for it. Oh yeah, where's my manners? Hold up, I forgot to completely show you in here. And if you were also wondering, inside the hangar, yeah, this is the small hangar. So, there's supposed to be like a large door here, and then you're supposed to have a seat or two right here. You could just have your viewing angle. Like I said, I want this to have beefy take hits, so you don't just have one pane, not two pane, but 3 panes of useless glass that's gonna probably break first in battle. Now, obviously, is there any mods? No. This is as vanilla-ish as you can get. Like, the only mods you might see are highlights, maybe the color contrast better, skybox in the future. But as of right now, this video with these ships, these are completely pure vanilla. My interactions with the Space Engineers community has not been great. Most of them just see the designs like, if it's not ultra, it's like the same people that go with computers like, oh, if you're not like ultra high 80k 1000 graphics running the best possible, you're not truly you don't truly own a PC kind of people. And it's just really sad to see that that's the type of community that I've engaged with recently. Now, I'm not saying that that's the entire community. Obviously, you're gonna have your bad shellfish and everyone, but it is just way too common as far as I've personally experienced. Like, if you post a ship design that people don't like or don't agree with, oh, you're not a true shipbuilder. Or God forbid you try to edit one of the original King ships, because then you're just considered a satanic asshole. But like I said, I've had a very poor relationship with multiple space engineers communities, especially those of big YouTubers. I've interacted a little bit with the Reddit sections, but most of the time it is just people, just pure hatred. I don't know why. Maybe it's something with me, maybe it's something with them. Maybe me just existing is enough to piss them off. But anyway, I think I've rambled on enough, and that'll be another video for a separate time. Anyway, that's been all the ships I can show you so far. I hope you have a good one. And until next time. So bye.